timeline of things, we're like 2 hours, two and a half hours past the end of the last video. Took the combine home, serviced it, cleaned windows, fueled it, yada yada yada. Dad's gonna be following not too far behind with the grain truck. I gave him my card so he can put fuel in it. But this is the last field. We got there, the triangle back there, and there. This broken up thing. So get 2 trucks loaded tonight. The elevators, they're closing here in 7 minutes, so obviously ain't gonna make another load. But get 2 trucks full tonight, and they open tomorrow at 11 and should have absolutely no problem. I'm guessing there's maybe 6 truckloads out here, hopefully, if we're lucky. Curious to see how wet it is, because this field stayed green for a lot longer than everything else, because this got planted first week of June, I think, was when I finished this up. So, anyhow, it'll be nice to have an early night. I guess we're gonna do one more time this fall. First load off. This corn ain't running too terrible. It does got some wet holes in it though. I already had one pucker moment right here along the swamp, but she backed out, so alright. Dad's truck, yeah, you can't see it. Dad's truck is heaped. I wanted to make sure the combine was empty just in case for some reason the weather guessers were wrong and it does rain tomorrow. So I got up there, heaped it, got up there, walked it down, and then heaped it again. So I'm gonna have to go slow. But first 4 acres of this 14's done. It's going well, right in that 150, I think, a little over maybe. So we'll see how it turns out tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna try to get done today. I don't know if it's gonna happen. We got rain forecasted for about 3 o'clock. It's 11:45 right now. Got hung up at the elevator. They opened at 11, and Dad was the first truck in line. I was the third truck in line. They got Dad emptied out, pulled the semi in that was in between the two of us, and all of a sudden, all hell started breaking loose, and they had alarms going off on everything, and they had to quit dumping trucks. It took them about 20, 25 minutes to get things sorted out before they started dumping again, so that was a little bit of a hang up. But we're gonna do what we can here. I want to get this acre worked off and start working on the other side of that tree line because that feels wet. So try to get that before it gets any more rain on it. And then we'll worry about the big field back there. So need to let Big Red warm up here for a minute, and then we'll get after it as best we can. Because we're racing rain, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of camera work today, just because I want to get done. So you're going to have to bear with me on that. Every acre I had would yield that good. All that came off of that little triangle right there. That's probably pushing 200 bushel an acre. I believe that's right around like one acre even. It might be like 1.1, something like that, but still, that's a lot of corn off that little piece. good. You do have to slow down a fair old bit because it does pick pretty trashy, which kind of sucks. Well, like I say, I'm thinking part of the reason the deer leave it alone is because it stays so leafy, because if they have a hard time getting through it, they're less likely to mess with it to begin with. didn't get more video in this field, but we got rain on the way. I need to hurry up, get this on the truck and hightail it for the elevator. I've only got about 30 minutes according to the radar, so it's gonna be tight, but we're done. So we'll catch you guys here in a little bit. All right, it's 2,067 bushel off of 13.35 acres according to the planter monitor. 154.83 bushel an acre. So that's the best corn I've run all season, and I wish I could have pulled them out. I was hoping that we weren't going to be racing weather today, so that I could have taken my time, because I wanted to do the 3 fields on this side of the fence row, haul those in together, and then do that little 3-acre piece on that side of the fence row separate, because that 3-acre piece with all the wet spots pulled yield down. So that's an average. The average of the 3 good pieces would be better had I not thrown that 3-acre piece in it, but for the sake of saving time, we ran it all together, and that's so I didn't have to haul in 2 parcels. So but that's what it is when you figure it up over everything that was there. So none too shabby. That would figure that the field that I had to fight the hardest to get in the ground because it was so dang wet last spring would be the one that yielded the best. Go figure. And I'm very, very impressed that that backfield did not have more deer damage in it. I'm thinking it's definitely got to be due to that hybrid. Because I know there was deer out there because there was 2 dead ones. There was a doe and a buck laying there in the field. I'm guessing they were victims of that EHD because they went to water and died. There was one in the wet hole in the center of the backfield. That was the buck. He was a little, I'm guessing a yearling. It looked like it was about a 6-pointer. Little tiny rack. And then the doe was towards the front by the ditch. So I'm guessing it was EHD because they go to water and die. So I know there's deer out there, and they didn't really get into it. So, like I said, it's either they didn't like the way that corn tastes, or they didn't like it because they couldn't get through it because it was so leafy. But one way or the other, they didn't like it. So we're going to put that hybrid on the docket for next year to try to mitigate some of this deer problem. So, but anyhow, we got to get the 8700 moved home and hopefully get the head popped off of it before this rain shows up, and hopefully get it back in the barn. So we're gonna go get that done, and I think I'm gonna take advantage some of the rain days this week and start getting rent paid up so that I can get that project wiped off the list. And I think before I get too far into chopping stalks and chisel plowing, I'm going to try to get both combines cleaned up and back in their respective holes while the weather's still decent and warm, so that I'm not power washing in the blowing snow, because I'd prefer to not put them away dirty if I don't have to. So that's what I'm going to try to get knocked out this week, and we'll see what happens. So with that being said, that's it for this one. And Lily, what are you doing? That's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Huh?